My husband and I recently joined a small group at our church that is specifically focused on strengthening your marriage. In this past week's meeting, our group had a lively discussion over this marriage question that I believe totally applies to our relationship with Jesus. The question was, why was it so easy to put your spouse first when you were dating and not as easy now? Or here's another similar question. Why was it so easy to say no to just about everything else so you could just be together when you were dating? And it's not so easy now. One guy in the group answered, well, back then I was doing what I did to get her to like me. Once I got her, I didn't have to work so hard. There were quite a few nods on that response. Another person said, life just gets busy and other things get in the way, like kids and sports and schedules and work, to which everyone seemed to painfully nod in agreement. If you're married, the question is definitely worth asking in regard to your relationship with your spouse. But today, I want us to ask ourselves the question regarding our relationship with Jesus. Why was it so easy to put him first when we were dating, or when we first asked him to be our Savior, and it's not as easy now? I think each of us has our own answer for not consistently drawing near to God, and I think our answers are very similar to the ones that I heard in our small group. Take, for example, the first tendency mentioned, the once you got him, you didn't have to work so hard. Not that we can do anything to earn our salvation, but how often do we forget the huge price he paid to offer us this free gift of intimacy with God, and we take him for granted because we already got him in our lives. But I think the second example we discussed in our marriage class is the biggest deterrent to our relationship with God. Life gets busy. The kids, the sports, the schedules, the work. And in no time, strengthening our relationship with God, or drawing near to him, or sitting at the feet of our Savior becomes a good intention that just gets pushed further and further down the list. It gets pushed down oftentimes by really good things, but we are allowing those good things to suck our attention and our affection away from the greatest gift of all eternity, an intimate friendship with God. If you find that your relationship with Jesus has become more of a good intention that you truly want to act upon someday when you get to, and life magically slows down, here are a few things I want to encourage you with today. Number 1. Find God in your priorities. Make a list of the 5 to 7 most important things to you. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming God is up there somewhere in the top 5 on your list. Put the list in a place where you see it daily. Sometimes just being reminded that God is at the top will help you actively follow through in living with him at the top. Number 2, find God in your schedule. Now, if a complete stranger were to do a little time audit on you and record how you spend each of the minutes you've been given, where would she say God is at on your list of priorities? Would your record show that Facebook or TV shows or other forms of entertainment are given greater investment by you? If I'm honest, this kind of questioning has actually really annoyed me in the past, as I've assured my questioner that just because I spent more time on other things this week than on seeking Jesus and reading the Bible and in prayer, it doesn't prove that those things are more important to me than him. He's number 1 in my heart, whether he is number 1 on my schedule or not. I think this is a sneaky deception that we all allow ourselves to fall for. Yes, our relationship with God is a matter of the heart, and it's a spiritual one, but it's lived out in very practical ways. We can't get to know someone with whom we spend little to no time, which leads us to number 3. Give God higher priority in your schedule. If you're like me and most of us, if you're willing, you will also be able to give drawing to God a higher place in your schedule. So here's the question. What's holding you back? Are you the all-or-nothing perfectionist who is waiting to have the perfect large block of time or the perfect Bible study plan in front of you before you even start? Are you carrying a load of guilt that makes it even less appealing to draw near to him? Are you not convinced that he wants to spend time with you? Have you tried spending time with him in Bible reading and in prayer in the past and been disappointed because you felt no different afterwards? Or have you simply become distracted and forgotten to ask the question, what or who is really most important to me? If you can relate to any of these, hey, I go into detail with some very practical solutions on my website, so please head there and check them out. And I encourage you this week to find God in your priorities, find Him in your schedule, and then give Him higher priority in your schedule. Remember that He promises, draw near to me and I will draw near to you. And how awesome is that?